You're welcome back once again to this episode of Responsive Video. My name is Amadi Chile, and in this video, you're going to learn the following: basic display properties such as inline block and inline block. And we're going to see the difference between inline and inline block. What is media query, structure of media query using min width or max width. What is a breakpoint? Combining min width and max width, and how to choose a breakpoint or breakpoints, then applying media queries to improve the responsiveness of a web page. So I have my VS Code already open, so let's begin. So these are the files I use in practicing. So let me open the default one, which is index. So let me open this on a live server. So while it's opening, let's do the markup. So in this video, we are going to need, let's use the header tag for semantic purposes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, inside the header tag, I have the nav tag. So I'm just going to put nav. And inside the header tag, I'll have the main tag. So I'll just put main for now. Then outside that, I'll have the footer tag. So if I save this is what I'll get: nav, main, footer. So let's apply some of the lessons we learned in our class video for responsiveness to make that look more better. So I'm going to go to the index and I would say margin 0, padding 0, border box. Then next, I'm going to target the HTML. Remember, I'll give it a max width of 120 RPM. So this is the maximum width it can stretch, but if it has a width less than this, it will remain 100%. So this is a very smart CSS property. Then font size, we make it 1 RPM, which is about 16 pixels. Then this is for the sake of our EM, so let's go for our EM body. Give the font size, I'll stay the same 1 EM. Then next, my nav, I want it to have a mean height of 5 view height, and this is just a mean height, so if there's need for it to grow, it's going to grow. Let me give it a background color of black, the color of white. Next, I move to the main. So in this main, I'm going to give it a width, a max width of Let's use 95%. The mean height of 65 view height. Then for the footer, I give it a mean height of 5 view height. So let's see what the output looks like. So you notice this is how it looks like. That's nice. So you see that the footer is down. So let's increase this a little to 75. You see, it comes down a little. Okay, so we have this basic UI. So I want to increase so that you guys can see it better. I've added my margin auto. So margin one RVM top and bottom, and this should go to. So that is why it now appear to space. So this is it. So let's add a border. 0.2 REM. Let's add a border. Pixel solid. So we'll see the section of the main. So this is the section of the main, and this is how it looks like. So let's take our first task is to learn the basic display property, which is inline block and inline block. And display properties, both the basic and advanced, which is flex and grid, that we'll learn next week, are used to change the default display property or the display behavior of a tag, either from inline to block or block to inline. So it then means with these display properties, now this basic and both the advanced, you have to remember, oh, now I want to be the number. Oh, I should use an anchor tag because I need to just stay inline. No, you can use an OL, or you can use a list tag for that. You can use a div, you can use any tag of your choice, then use these properties to change the order. But OL is usually the ones that is commonly used. So, or you decide to use a span tag for something, and you now remember, oh, this tag is an inline tag. You don't have to clean the code or edit the tag. You can simply convert this behavior from inline to block. So let's demo that with some few examples. So come back to our code here, go to our markup, inside the main here, I'll just put h1 basic display properties. We have the inline, we have the block, we have the inline block. So let's now do this. Let's create a block tag and see if we can convert it to inline tag. So I will put a comment here, inline block to inline. So what I'm going to do here now is this. I'm going to use I'm going to have an OL. Then inside the OL, I'm going to have the list tag. Then inside the list tag, I'm going to have inline. So Shift Alt, arrow down to duplicate. So this is going to be block. And this is going to be inline block. Then let's do the markup for the next one, so I don't have to come back. So this one is to be from inline. So I'll give this a div of class inline. So inside it I have some span tags. So I'll still put them, let me say apple. Down. Orange. And banana. So if I save this and preview, you notice I have this my display properties. So I have my list tag. You see the inline block and this. I think let's make these comments a paragraph, or let's place it with paragraph. C. So let's add a p tag there. P tag first, so that it will give us a description, because the order is about to change. So block to inline. So let's not change this block behavior from block to inline. I know inline is just like this 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do that. So we go to our CSS. Remember, for now I have just one OL here, so I can select by tag name, but you can give it a class if you want. So OL. Now the way the basic display property works, for me to make all this list tag here inline, I have to use the design selector. I'll tell it, see, I want all the li tag inside this OL to display inline. If I just say only the OL, it will not work. So let me demo that for you. So if I say display inline, let's see if there's going to be a response. You see, there's no response even though I refresh. So I have to just like I explained earlier, I have to tell you that all its children, the li, should what? Display inline. So I have to say space li. And this is going to work. So if I do it like this now, come back, you see, it have moved from block to what? Inline. So this is what I have. So let's now change this inline to block. So now you got the principal from here. So let's say dot inline, then what are the children of this inline container? They are all span tags. So say space span, say display block. So now that I will say display block, you see it has changed from inline to block. So this is how the display properties work. You can use them to change the default behavior of a tag from either inline to block or block to what? Inline. Now, what is different between inline and inline block? So let me show you for a moment. Now, one of the difference between inline and inline block is that inline does not respond to width and height, whereas inline block responds to width and height. So let me show you this. So now that it's inline, if I give this a width of 200 pixel, the height of 200 pixel. So let's give it a border so that we can see pixel solid, right? So if I save this now, you notice this width cannot be 200 pixel. You notice it did not respond to it. Now if I change it to inline block, just notice the difference. You see, you will not see how it looks like. Very, very nice. Let's open this in the back mode so that you see how it looks like. This look. So this is how it looks like. So you see. Now, so I prefer using the inline block just rather than the inline. Now, if I want everything to go to the center, I'll say OL since I have only one OL. Text line center. And let's give this margin 0.5 or 2. So if we apply that, you notice that there will be a space between inline and this. So you see, it's now at the center. So next, now that we know how to use the display properties, let's apply the knowledge to build a simple nav bar. So I'll go to my nav, remove this. So I have a UL. So inside my UL, I have my LI. So this would be my tag. For now, they are going nowhere. So tab, logo. Next, I'll have my anchor tag, which will be my next going nowhere too. So I'll have my blog. I have my services. I have my about. Then I can now have my last one, which is still an li, an anchor tag, still going nowhere. Then I can have my hamburger menu and hash 9776. So this is a way of adding special characters, which we learned in our first video. So there are more of them, but I just remember this one. Although you can see add it using an icon. So if I save, this is what I have now. We're not seeing it clearly because because it's still in the default behavior, which is block, and we've not changed in the color of this. So let's do that. So I'll go to I'll come down here, but it is usually good to arrange your CSS properly, so at least in the order of the HTML, so that it is easier for it to troubleshoot if there's need. So I'll move to this now. So I'll say now, I think is UL we used. UL. Then all the li inside, I want it to display what? Inline block. So if I do this now, you notice the orientation has changed. So you see how it is. The next, I want on my nav text align to the center. The next, I want my nav anchor tags color should be what? White. So let's see how it looks like. So you see how it looks like. Then let's remove the text decoration. Text decoration none. I want to add those on hover. So I'll say now anchor tag text decoration underline. So we have this basic nav bar. So let's give this nav bar some spacing. So let's target the nav now. Let's see padding 0.5 top and bottom, then 2 arrow here. So if we do this, you're going to have this. Now use our knowledge of display property to develop a simple nav bar. This is how it looks like, but here it gets too small. So let's see 75. Okay, so you see how it looks like. So what I can do here, I can select nav tag and say margin right 0.5. So you see there's some space now. So let's go back to this guy. So now that we know how to use property, so let's now learn the next. So what is media query? So the CSS media query gives you a way to apply CSS only when the browser or device environment matches a rule that is specified. Media queries are a key part of responsive web design, as they allow you to create different layouts depending on the size of the viewport. So what is a viewport and how can you specify this rule? So we'll learn about this shortly. Now, the structure of a media query. And the structure of a media query looks like this. You use the @ sign, say media, and the next is the media type. So in here now, the media type is what? Print. So you can have so many media type, at least 3 here, or print and screen. But we'll be using screen for this. But you can play around using this print. So it's just a CSS that your printer will follow when printing a particular page. So you can embed in it a background color, a company logo, or something like that. So this is the basic structure. So don't forget this. So media, then the media type, and then the media feature. So let's go to the next one. Now, using mean width or max width. Now, if you're using a mean width, it encourages you to build the mobile first. And why is that so? Because it starts from the minimum breakpoint or the viewport, then to the next higher one, to the next higher one. And you know the minimum breakpoint is usually the mobile view, so it encourages that mobile first. So we can say the mean width start from the smallest viewport and scale upward, whereas the max width start from the maximum screen, which is the desktop, and scales down. So if you're using mean width, you use mean width. If you're using max width, you max width, but you can combine both of them if you understand how they work. So this is an example, the media screen and max width 600 pixel or breakpoint. So yeah, the breakpoint is this 600 pixel or the viewport. Then at this breakpoint, the body of the page will change from the default color of white to what? Blue. So let's learn the next one. What is a breakpoint now? Now the breakpoint, it is the point at which a media query is introduced. So the point at which a media query is introduced is known as what? The breakpoint. So if we go back to our previous code, so this is the breakpoint because it's only at this max width from 600 pixel downward that it will apply the CSS. Once it is greater than 600 pixel, then it will remove the CSS, and this CSS will remain unless it meets another breakpoint as the breakpoint reduces. So now it is possible for you to combine the mean width and the max width. So you can do that using this media, then you put your mean width and max width. Now the CSS here will only apply the styles if within this range. So if it is not within this two viewports, then the CSS will not be applied. So it is possible. So I just thought I should mention that to you. Now, how to choose breakpoints? Choose a breakpoint at the point where the content starts to be too big, small, overflows, or scattered. To know this point, use the dev mode tools in your browsers and select the module. So this is the dev mode tool. So if I want to go back to the dev mode tool, what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to go to my text. So I've entered the dev mode tools now. So and as you can see here, this is the width of the screen now, and this is what height. So if I want to add a a breakpoint, you notice that at 684 pixel width, this thing looks good, but if I pass beyond this, it looks bad. So we can select that this as what our breakpoint. So our first task, so let's apply our media attribute to this. So we want anything from, let's see, so anything from 650 pixel of width, we want it to change the order of this from inline to block, and we also want to make it full screen, so the width should increase. So let's do that first task. So we'll move to our OL inline to block. So I add media let's use add media screen, get media type, and so I'll use mean width. Okay, remember it is from that screen downward, so we're going to use max width. So 650 pixel. So now at this point we want our OLLI to be display lock. Then we want the width to be 95%. So let's check if this works. Then we also want to use our auto. Let's see. So you see now, so if I come up, come down, so you see I've now made this page what, so we've now made that section responsive using the media attribute. So you see it works. So if this was an image gallery or an image card, we've made it responsive. So how do we know the right viewport to select? Remember, we can select a viewport at the point when the display on our browser is getting too small, too big, or is about to scatter, or a set of inline content is about to scatter. So we know that at this point is a right point for us to take what? Our viewport. So now next we want to apply our knowledge of the media attribute to make this our navbar looks fine. Now we don't want this hamburger menu to be showing on the mobile view. We only want it to show, on the desktop view. We only want it to show on the mobile view. Then when it shows, we want these two guys here to what? Everything from this blog and service to be hidden, so it will remain just this logo and this. So I want to explain it again. On the desktop view, we don't want this to show. Then on the mobile view, we now want this to show and this to hide. So let's do that. So let's select image. So I think I should increase the font size of that now, but it's making it not too font size 1. Yeah. Yes. Why is it not working? Okay, it's working, but it's because of this guy here. Okay. It's working. Let me reduce the screen size a little. So you see, so first of all, we don't want that. Even like that. Okay. So that's because of the hover. Okay, so let's stop that. Go back to our inspect mode. The next, let's go back to our markup. So we're going to give this class. I'll give it any name, but this is just a random name. Then give class of menu. So what we want now on our mobile view, this should not show. So what I'm going to do now is this. So I'm going to come here, say now dot menu should display none. Now if you put display none, that means you don't want it to display at all. So if I go to my browser, so you see it's not showing again. So now notice it's not showing again. So now what is the difference between display none and opacity? Now let me show you that. So if I come back here and say opacity 0, you not see it. You're not going to see it, but if you notice, the space for it is still there. But if you use the display now, it's like it cleans up the space. That is just the difference. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do now is we want at a certain screen size. We want at a certain screen size. All this should hide and our display property and the hamburger menu will show. So what we are going to do now is to add a media attribute. So say add media and screen, and so we are going to use a min width of 400. So now let's use a max width so that, but if I say from 400 pixels, that means from 400 pixels and above, I want from 400 pixels and below. So for 400 pixels and below, we now want to say nav dot menu and be display inline block. So this is it. So if we go down to 400 pixel and below, you notice it shows now. But I now want these guys, this block service and these two also disappear. So I'm going to say dot group what display no. So if I do that now, you notice they are gone. So it's gone now. So wouldn't it be nice for us to include something that if we open on this, it will not show the things that we hit, like this blog and services and about. Well, we can use CSS to do that, even though you can also do that with a JavaScript, and I'll show you how you can do that in a moment. So let's see if there's another thing we can also make responsive. So we can also target this our H1 that at that same 400 pixel, it should reduce the font size a little, or we can even also say reduce the font size and change the color. So so at this breakpoint, can still man. So that will be in my H1. So I can do that here. So you can have as many media attributes as you want. So okay, so for me to do it here, I can still do it inside here. I'll just put my H1 since I have my H1. So I need to repeat that. This media function. So the font size should be 0.8. I want to change the color to blue. And this text line should be what? Should be center. Let's see. So I notice this how it looks. You see, you now notice the power of the media attribute. It's working just like that. So if you understand how to choose a breakpoint, then to know if you use the min width or the max width, then you will not have any issue making any tag to responsive. So let me give you the last tips for this video. How can we make this hamburger menu here? By the time we click it, it will show us a list of the things that we hit. So if you go to your search bar, you can type how to add a drop down on CSS over. So I have to bring out a drop down with CSS over effect. Hit that. So I'm not connected to the internet. So just a moment. So one of the technique I'll use here now is I will read the code, I will see, I will understand it, and I will integrate it into my own. So as a front-end developer, you need to harness this skill. You need to learn to understand the code and edit it to fit the way you want, because you cannot remember everything. So there are some things that you want to do. Say, oh, I like this feature. You have to start writing it from the scratch. Just look at an example of it, then integrate that example to fit your own design, because it might be that the example that they use there might not fit your design. So I'll go to this one in W3 School here. So if I scroll down, yeah, you notice what I want to do now is this. You see? Then if I hover, so this is what I want to add there. So each time I hover on that button, on the hamburger menu, it should bring this. So let's go to the code. So go to try it yourself. So in this try it yourself, you're going to see both the HTML and the CSS. So you see it's working. So let's study the markup. So in the markup, we have a block tag, this div here, and it has a class of drop down. Then we have a button that says drop down, which is this one. Then we have the list that we want to show. Now if you notice, this looks similar to what we have. We have an, so this div that is here now means it's also the same thing with our li tag. Then this button that had this text of drop down means our anchor tag. Then this list of things here, you can also use this div. Remember, it is possible for a block tag to be inside a block tag, or an inline tag to be inside a block tag, but it's not recommended for you to use a block tag inside an inline tag, because to change the output from inline to block. So I just thought I should mention that. So another thing that you should also know, that the tag that they use does not matter in this case. It's just a class name. So what I'm going to do is I'll copy this guy, Control C, I'll go to my I'll go to my nav. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a space here and I'll add it. Now, this is just a way to add many CSS value. Many class values to a single CSS. Now, that means I can target this like tag using this menu or drop down. There can be as many as possible, but you can add more than one. The next, inside my anchor tag, I'll have a class of drop down btn. So I'll do that. So it doesn't have a class, so I'll give it a class. The next, I have this my list. So I'll just copy this div tag. Just copy this div tag that is there. So Ctrl C. And then inside it, like this, I'll paste. So I don't need this link 1, link 2, link 3. All I need is this. So I'll just copy and replace that. Ctrl V. So now I need to format my document. So I'll go to format with, if you have Prettier installed, click this. So to make it look fine like this. So you see that I now have all the CSS arranged the way it should be. I have the drop down, I have the btn, and I have the drop down content. So the next and final step is to copy all the CSS. Don't change anything, just copy everything. Ctrl C and paste anywhere within your CSS. So I'll save this and paste it down, down, down. So if I save this now and go back to my browser, so now I notice that if I click on this now, you see this thing comes up. So I can click this. See? So if I added the actual links to this, you notice that it directs me to the pages. So but I don't want this. I don't want this background color here. So let's remove that. So I'll study the code now. See, I want the color is, I'll just comment it out. So I don't need that apply. Let me check if there's another one. This. Check if there's another one. That is all. So if I save now, I have what I want. So you see. So this is how we can add it. So you notice that by studying this, we have this responsive site. So we've now learned how to choose a breakpoint and how to use the media attribute. So next, we've applied, as we have seen, we've applied the media attribute to improve the responsiveness of a web page. So in our next video, I'm going to show you how after we learn our flex and grid, then we are now going to build this. Let me see. Should have opened this before now, I forgot. So in our next video, we are not going to learn how to use our knowledge of the principles of responsive web design to build both the mobile view and the desktop view, as you see from this Figma file. Okay, so this is it. So if you notice here, we have the desktop view. So this has an navbar, and if you also notice from our, you notice how this is spaced. Now, using these basic properties, you notice that in the mobile view, we are not able to space this. Now, if you try to use margin and padding, it will be too troublesome. So, but flex or grid, that will be an easy job for us. So I purposely left it for that. So we are going to design this background. So this just exactly as it is here, it will be here. Then we are going to use this design. Then because we have not learned JavaScript, so you are going to use the CSS over, so that when we hover it is to come down like this. See this. So I'm only going to build this first section here. Then as a first project, you are going to build everything exactly like this, from here to the next. So this is your project 1. On top of that, you'll be having your weekly assignment. So please, you don't have any time to waste. So you should try to finish your project as soon as possible. So thank you very, very much for watching up till now. I hope you've learned something new. So I encourage you to please practice. There's no better way to enjoy programming than practicing. So thank you very, very much. And I'll see you in the next video.